What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Advanced Wars by Web replay commentary. This is a Fog 4 game that I just joined because it was actually open. It wasn't like a league game or anything. And this is basically just to kind of go over some mistakes that I saw my opponent had made with their play, and basically how to kind of counteract some of them. And this is not meant to, of course, pick on my opponent or anything like that. This is strictly just, going over the match, objectively what happened, and then what could have been done, to improve. Go over the COs real quick. I'm playing Sonja. She gets +1 in Fog of War for Vision, which is actually the reason why I picked her in this map, because it's tier 4. Her counterattacks are 50% stronger. The opponent cannot see her HP, and her units have a bit more bad luck, or actually have bad luck, whereas other COs don't. Her normal power just gives her +1 to vision, and her superpower does the same thing, but it also lets her counterattack first, or strike first before the enemy, making her units basically just as if they're always attacking you first, even when you're trying to initiate against her. And Jess, of course, we all know Jess. I play her a lot, but just to quickly go through, all land vehicles get plus 10% firepower, but all other units lose 10% firepower. She has 2 powers, turbocharged and overdrive. They give 1 and 2 movement respectively to her vehicles. They fully supply every unit in the army, and then her firepower for her vehicles goes by 20 and then 40% respectively. So let's go ahead and just get things started up. As you can see, pretty simple stuff. Capping the neutral bases and building infantry is going to be what you need to do at the very beginning of the game, of course. You're not going to see much difference going on from this. Now, on day 3, I decided to go for a recon, and a reason being is that this map is pretty big. Vision is pretty good, and Sonja's recons are especially good because of the fact that they have so much extra squares. Like, people say, oh, it's only 1 vision, but the thing is that, yeah, it is 1 vision, but it's across her entire range. You'll just, you get to see so many. It's not just 1 more square, trust me, it is so many squares. He goes for the airport, and he builds 3 infantry and passes over turn, making use of all bases, which is definitely what you want to be doing, for sure, on stuff like this. And I go ahead and also build up with my units, building 3 infantry from all of my bases too. Then, as we can see, he goes for a recon as well. Build it from the further back base. It doesn't really matter a whole lot. It's got enough roads to get it kind of going as well. My recon, of course, though, was a day earlier, so it is going to be starting to get into the action a little bit quicker as well. And I build actually another recon for this as well. I figured that the best way to try and cripple Jess is going to be in her capture game, because her infantry are weaker, so having 2 recons should be alright to try and deal with those. But I don't really plan on building too many more for something like that. My opponent builds another 2 infantry and a recon and passes over, so pretty similar building overall, just slightly different in terms of when exactly it's being built. As you can see, I've shoved my recon pretty far up in order to see what's going on and scout. This is my first time ever playing on this map, but I did kind of figure out a little bit about it, but I was unsure at first of if this is supposed to be my comm tower or not, if this one was supposed to be. I figured this one was probably mine, but I could also see it just being pretty contested as well, and maybe not having a fully established way. I build 3 more infantry because of the amount of money I had and pass over. Alright, moving on to his turn, just still initiating captures. We're at about similar income, although he's initiating 3 captures right now, and I will be a little bit behind. I think that's because he's going second, though. He builds an anti-air, an infantry, and passes, which I find a little strange for building the anti-air at that time. First off, there are no tanks being built yet by Jess, and those are some of her best units. Secondly, there is no intel given on air units coming out. Maybe he was thinking about potentially building one, and that's decided, well, maybe if I was going to do that, he might, and then built the anti-air. I'm not entirely sure, but it is what it is. I move my recon over here to get scouting and vision over here, initiating some more captures of mine, and just moving out with my flood of infantry at this point. And then now I go ahead and I build my first tank as well. I'm doing it from a more forward base, because I want to make sure he can get to the action as quick as possible. So he moves over, and he's able to see him capping here, and I don't have that comm tower yet. So he's able to kind of start pressing in. He's going to move his recon straight down, and he is able to spot this recon here and be capturing this property here. But that's really all he's getting, nothing super major for information-wise yet. He's closing in on his comm tower as well. He goes ahead and built the tank, infantry, and then he actually passes, so he could have built one more infantry. He had exactly enough to do so, but instead saves the extra 1,000 for some reason. I don't like that play at all. I think you should always be building as many units as possible out of your bases. This is just severely limiting him, hindering him for pretty much no reason and no benefit. Move to my turn, and I do capture a bunch of properties now, helping to, get in the game for sure. I decided to go ahead. I already knows he can see it, so there's no reason in trying to hide it. I move up further here to see, just everything I can here, see, just kind of what's going on. And I'm going to go ahead and just start initiating a capture as well. I know he can see it, but it doesn't really matter. It's gonna delay his recon from trying to do something else or getting relevant information, because all he's going to see is just infantry as well. Build out another tank to infantry, and then pass over as well. He's initiating, proper captures there too. He moves into the forest, so that way he will be able just to surprise me with the recon strike when I go to capture the comm tower. And then rather than actually moving to capture his comm tower, he's just moving away, which I think is a mistake. In a lot of cases, the amount of infantry you have, you probably would want to just try and go ahead and take it now, because now that he hasn't started capturing it, I'm now allowed to really bully him as well. He moves the anti-air in, and his tank getting them into position. Then he builds another tank, a recon, and that's it. So once again, he doesn't build an infantry, and he's at 2,000 saved up now. So if he had built an infantry last turn and this turn, 0 funds would be left over here. He would have still been spending all of his money. It's not like it would have prevented him from building something. So I did the same thing, put myself into the forest. As you can see, my opponent is a bit further along over here with the capturing him, and I was getting another one. It's going to prop him up to 16,000, and I'm actually out of position for getting a lot of my properties as well. I was playing a little slow with my infantry for sure. I was shoving a ton of them up here and not really pushing forward over here as hard as I probably should or could have. I move my recon down, and I go ahead and start capturing the comm tower as well. Of course, that is important. Moving the tank up towards the middle, and in this case, you're going to be excuse me, you're going to be seeing me using all of my money. Can I go for battlecopter, tank, infantry? The reason why I built the battlecopter, of course, is that you don't want to be building battlecopters too late. I figure this is probably towards the end of when I should be building them, and it's going to require him to have an anti-air ready, which I can easily try and kill as well. Goes towards the property over here, now starts capturing the comm tower, and is capturing a ton of the other properties around as well. Always good to do. And he goes for the hit on my infantry. Fair enough. He is actually able to completely dislodge the capture, but as you can see, you don't get to see the hit points changing. So he just doesn't know exactly what's going on with my HP, which is, one of the best things about Sonja, to be fair. But they're taking a recon and passes over, so again, just not utilizing all of his bases, which is going to let me be able to catch up with unit counts and stuff as well. So I go ahead and I stop his capture on the comm tower, of course. Don't want him to get it if possible. I go ahead and get on the property to strike the anti-air, and I'm able to follow it up with my other tank as well to completely kill it, which will, of course, mean my battlecopter has more free reign until he builds another anti-air. Go ahead and move him to the forest to strike his recon on the road. And I go ahead and initiate another capture on this as well. Because, I'm going to keep his recons here, preventing them from getting further information about what I could have going on. Infantry too, built another tank, infantry, that's going to be pretty standard stuff kind of being built there. And as you can see, even though so far I'm a bit behind on income, in fact he's going to go up to 18,000, I'm right behind, and I'm taking overall better engagements. He scouts me, capping the city, he does go ahead and strikes me. And he actually starts moving in with his tanks a bit, he strikes me, but again, he doesn't know how much damage he's dealt, which is always good. I love that he can't see that. I didn't even think about that until because we were playing this game live, actually, for a good chunk of it, and it really messed with him, I could tell. You'll see that soon, too. We've been built a battlecopter and an anti-air. Again, still has not seen me having a battlecopter, and honestly, a battlecopter in and of itself is a decent response to an enemy's battlecopter, potentially, too. And he builds nothing else, so he's really just hampering overall his unit count, which, hey, fine with me. So as you can see, my infantry is at 8 HP, doing pretty solid there, and I'm able to go ahead and kill out his recon. I'm going to start moving down here to get this one property, and I go ahead and I join cap to try and help secure that. I join cap over here as well to ensure I'm going to get that property too. Pull back onto the city for healing and take a hit on him with my other healthy tank. I completely destroy his infantry capping the comm tower, so he's not getting that. And I decide to go ahead and just fire on his little infantry over here. And I've got others to back it up with. I actually kill it. In hindsight, I probably should have attacked with my stronger infantry first, but it is what it is. I move my tank up to make sure it is close by to help out, and I make sure to move my battlecopter in a way to hopefully try and avoid it being detected, for it not to get hit. Then I build a medium tank and 2 infantry and pass over and decide, alright, let's go ahead and bring out the big guns, because you definitely would, going up against Jess tanks, especially if she were to get the comm tower, mono and mono is definitely not very good. And so I decided the medium tank would be probably one of the best things to do at this point, because it would mean I can basically hard counter the tanks that my opponent has and require a response of the time. I caps the city back there, moves down with the B copter. He again shoots on me to interrupt the capture. Able to fully stop it again. Fires on my infantry, but he has now blocked himself from being able to hit with any other unit, so that pretty much secures the comm tower for me. He takes 2 more first strikes. My infantry kills another one, moves into the forest, and just moves down. He does go ahead and attack my tank with both of hers, and my tank actually survives, which is awesome. That's perfect for me. Moves on the anti-air, because it survived. That means I can pull it back from healing later. Builds another battlecopter and anti-air, and a recon, and then passes over. I'm finding these builds so interesting and weird. Anyways, I have the comm tower now, so I can go ahead and really start pressuring in. I go ahead and attack the tank with my battlecopter. It does a pretty good hit there. I'm able to actually go ahead and kill it off as well. Capture down there. I move my recon, put it onto the city to heal, and I move this tank up here because I want to kill that recon so that he has, and the tank is going to be the best answer I have to it as well. I think I tried to move my tank and it got trapped, and that's why I was able to shoot there, because you can't see into Forest of Sonja until you pop her powers. Excuse me. I built an anti-air, thinking there's likely going to be battlecopters coming into play now that I've shown mine as well. So let's go ahead and get that up and running. He goes ahead and caps on the city over here, and he's able to use his anti-air to kill the battlecopter, although he's had to take 2 anti-air to do that, basically. Fires on the infantry on my comm tower, kills it. He's able to fire on the other infantry there too, killing that nearly, and finally killing it with that infantry. And it really looks like he's able to actually kind of push me back pretty hard. But you will see it's not going to be that bad overall here for me. Excuse me. He goes just hard in and just strikes this, which I find really odd. He's just throwing away this recon, and yeah, he gets to see my medium tank, but he builds a rocket in response. I don't think a rocket is really the best response unit here for it, if I'm being honest. But now it is my turn, and I go ahead and pop my superpower, which now lets me see into forests. And now I'm also going to be getting first strike engagements on all of my enemies' attacks. Go ahead and I kill the recon, or not recon, kill the infantry there, and I start capping on the comm tower. And finally getting the city over here, then finish that up over here. I go to kill that infantry, which I do. I kill his tank with the second hit. Move in the medium tank and kill the recon. Then I move my anti-air up because I didn't want to know I had that. I kill the recon over here. I go ahead and shoot the 4 HP infantry there. I put the healthy infantry on top of the harbor and fire there. And I can follow that up with the 7 HP recon. I'll go ahead and interrupt the capture up here, and I join cap to put him back healthy. Probably didn't need to do that, and that was probably a waste if I'm being honest, but yeah, I did it, sadly. And I was really liking the counter break of built tank, and infantry, and I felt very good about my positioning after the after the counter break, because of the fact that it basically is going to mean he shouldn't be taking really any engagements against me, because it's not going to be very fruitful for him. So, move to my opponent's turn. And by the way, his superpower is ready, doesn't pop it at all. He even moves down with the battlecopter and then pops it, which, I mean, to be fair, it's getting the extra fuel. So I guess it's not too bad. It just seems really weird overall. All he does is move this, though, to get information. He does shoot on the tank there and brings it down pretty low. He does kill my recon with his anti-air, and then he starts attacking with his infantry. And he hits me then with the 7 HP infantry, and then he fires with the 4 HP infantry, and then he fires with the 5 HP infantry, which brings it to 1. And because it's still up there, he resigns. So I believe my opponent maybe just didn't understand how Sonja's power worked, and honestly, if being a newer player, that's perfectly fine. Sonja's power is a little complicated for sure. Basically, her superpower means that she's always going to get first strikes. So that basically what ended up happening was, if we look at the damage calculator, let me actually rewind the turns so that way we can see here. Give me just a moment. Alright, so we see my opponent's going to be attacking from this. We know that they don't have a comm tower, whereas we know that I do. So basically what we end up having to do is actually kind of swapping around the damage formula, is essentially how it works. So meaning that I would only take a maximum of 1 HP, which would mean that would bring me down to 8 when her, the 7 HP infantry hit me from the road, and that would mean that it could also only deal up to 1 HP, meaning that it could bring me down to 7. So then when the 4 HP infantry came in, that was pretty much a guaranteed kill from the first strike, dealing no damage, and that's why the 5 HP infantry came in, and it was reduced down to 1 from the luck roll, and probably, it doesn't even have the showing for the 1 HP, but the 1 HP damage would have maybe could have brought me down to 6. So Sonja's power basically just turns it into horrible engagements for the opponent if they're even. And as you can see, 4, 3, 1, dead, and I'm brought down to 6 HP. So that's pretty much how Sonja's power works. It just makes it to where I'm getting the initiation, essentially, here from it. So what can we kind of, I guess, learn from this is that, well, all bases should probably have stuff being built from them in order to ensure full game count. Number 2, knowing what the powers do, of course, is pretty good. There actually is a list that goes over. It's under info and charts. You'll be able to see CO power stuff. I would probably recommend, if you are a new player, reading up on that to know what they do, so that way you're not caught off guard. And I'm pretty sure my opponent was just caught off guard and just didn't know that's how her power worked, and that's exactly why I did what I did, was because I knew that it would deter engagements, is what I thought. But in reality, he played right into it. So yeah. Definitely, though, I'm not trying to bully my opponent. My opponent actually did better than me in a lot of things as well, had a much better capture game than me for a bit. Granted, I was able to end up delaying the comm tower, and I was going to get this comm tower as well next turn, which means I would have had a 20% firepower bonus, so it really would have helped me out a lot in that case. And if I was able to hold on to these 2 comm towers and continued this fight, if it did continue longer, then I'm pretty sure I still would have won the game. So I don't think that the resigning was unnecessary. I feel like that was probably a little premature, but given what we've seen from my opponent, I think I would have ended up in the win. It was still a fun game, though. I enjoyed playing it live with you, by the way, back and forth for those last few turns for sure. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video for sure, and I plan on doing more and more Advanced Wars content as well, coming pretty soon. Being a single parent with a full-time job, though, does not give me a whole lot of time to be able to do stuff like this. So appreciate you guys still being here with me, though, as I've been doing everything. Thank you guys so much.